Hello, welcome to Storytime Read Along with me. The Incredible Peppa Pig Collection. 50 Peppa Storybooks. Every day we will read 2 Peppa Pig books. Which books shall we read today? Peppa Pig, Peppa's School Project, and Peppa Pig, Peppa and George's Garden. Peppa's School Project. It's school project time. Everyone has to make a castle at home. Peppa's ready to make a fantastic castle with a little help from Mummy and Daddy Pig, of course. Peppa's School Project. It's the end of the day at Peppa's playgroup. For your school project, I want you to go home and make a castle, says Madame Gazelle. Use your imagination and make it big and fantastic. Can we use glitter? Asks Susie Sheep. Not too much glitter. It gets everywhere, says Madame Gazelle. The next morning, Peppa is eating breakfast. I'm doing a school project, says Peppa. I need to make a castle. Stick these yoghurt pots on this cereal box, says Daddy Pig. No, Daddy, it has to be good, says Peppa. I see, replies Daddy Pig. Over at Susie's house, Susie and Mummy Sheep are looking at the computer. Are you sure Madame Gazelle told you to make a real fairy palace? Asks Mummy Sheep. Yes, says Susie, with all the little fiddly bits. Right, says Mummy Sheep. I think I'll stay at home today. Back at Peppa's house, Peppa draws a picture of the castle she wants to make. But it needs to be big enough for me to live in, says Peppa. We need to find a big cardboard box then, says Mummy Pig. Just then, the doorbell rings. Ding dong! Mr. Zebra is at the door with a delivery. It's just a light bulb, says Daddy Pig, opening up the big box. Why do they use so much packaging? Shall I take the box away? Asks Mr. Zebra. No, shouts Peppa. We need it for my project. After Mr. Zebra leaves, Mummy and Daddy Pig start making Peppa's castle. Peppa calls Susie on the phone. How is your school project going? Asks Peppa. It's going very well, says Susie. Mummy Sheep puts a tower on the palace. It needs to be more pointy, Mummy, says Susie. How is your castle going? Asks Susie. It's hard work, says Peppa. But Mummy and Daddy are helping a teeny tiny bit. What do you think of this tower, Peppa? Asks Daddy Pig. It looks a bit cardboardy, says Peppa. I need to get on with my work now. Goodbye, Susie. Daddy Pig has painted Peppa's castle so it doesn't look cardboardy anymore. Says Peppa. It just needs one more thing. Glitter! No, not glitter, cries Daddy Pig. The next morning, Peppa and her friends have brought their castles to playgroup. Susie's fairy palace is very glittery. Wendy Wolf's castle is very glittery. Candy Cat's castle is very glittery. Emily Elephant's castle is very glittery. My castle is made out of a cardboard box and lots of glitter, says Peppa. It is a very fine castle, says Madame Gazelle, and so sparkly. Now Madame Gazelle is very glittery, Peppa is very glittery, even Mummy Pig is very glittery. Everyone is very glittery. Isn't it wonderful what children can make using just their imaginations, says Madame Gazelle. And my castle is big enough for me to live in, says Peppa. Peppa loves school projects. Everyone loves school projects, especially glittery ones. Peppa Pig, Peppa and George's garden. Peppa and George are making their very own flower garden. Can Daddy Pig stop the birds from eating all their seeds? Peppa and George's garden. Daddy Pig is sitting in his favourite sunny spot, reading a newspaper. What a perfect day for doing nothing, says Daddy Pig. The only thing that could make it better would be a cup of tea. He goes inside the house to make one. Grandpa Pig has come to see Peppa and George. You're going to have your very own flower garden, he tells them. Peppa and George are very excited. We need a nice sunny spot to plant your seeds, says Grandpa Pig. Grandpa Pig finds the perfect sunny spot and starts to dig Peppa and George's garden. When the garden is ready, Peppa and George will plant their seeds. Oh, gasps Daddy Pig. What's going on? We're making a flower garden, says Peppa. But that's where I sit in my chair and read my newspaper, cries Daddy Pig. Flowers are more important than chairs and newspapers, says Peppa. It is time to plant the seeds. Look, Daddy, cries Peppa. Peppa has lots of flower seeds. George only has one flower seed, but it is a big one. Some birds have come to see what Peppa and George are doing. They start to eat the seeds. Shoo, shoo, calls Peppa. Leave our flower garden alone. Daddy Pig gets some water to help the seeds grow. As soon as they see Daddy Pig, the birds fly away. Daddy scared the birds, cheers Peppa. Grandpa Pig laughs. Daddy Pig looks like a scarecrow. Tweet, 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 tweet. Peppa, George, bath time, calls Mummy Pig. But what if the birds come back, asks Peppa. Don't worry, Peppa. I'll make sure the birds don't eat the seeds, says Daddy Pig. The birds come back again. Luckily, Daddy Pig is there to scare them away. Shoo, shoo, naughty birds, cries Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig guards the seeds until the birds have gone to bed. He is a very good scarecrow. Tweet, 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 tweet. It is 1 week later. Peppa, George, come and look, calls Daddy Pig. The seeds have grown, says Peppa. My flowers are so pretty, and George's plant is very tall, says Daddy Pig. It's a beanstalk, cries Peppa. It goes all the way up to a giant's castle. Ho, ho, ho. No, Peppa, says Daddy Pig. It's a flower, but it does go quite high. George's flower is taller than our house, says Peppa. George has grown a sunflower, explains Grandpa Pig. Sunflowers are very tall plants. Well done, George, says Grandpa Pig, and well done, Daddy, says Peppa. You were a great scarecrow. Tomorrow we will be reading Peppa Pig, Peppa's Lunch, and Peppa Pig, Pretend Friend. See you tomorrow, friends.